Benjamin Franklin was born in Boston in 1706 and was the 15th of 17 children in the Franklin family. Although Franklin loved learning, he left school at the age of 10 to help his father in the candlemaking profession. Unsatisfied with this life, Franklin began learning the printer's trade 2 years later when he was apprenticed to his brother James. As a teenager, he wrote the Silence Do-Good letters and advice column and published them in the New England Courant. However, Franklin soon tired of working for his brother, and in 1723, he ran away to Philadelphia and found work as a printer's assistant. By the time he was 23, Franklin owned his own newspaper in Philadelphia, the Pennsylvania Gazette, and soon afterward, he began publishing Poor Richard's Almanac, a calendar filled with advice, philosophy, and wise sayings, such as, "Early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise." With sales in the thousands every year, it became, second only to the Bible, the most widely read publication in the colonies. Franklin also was put in charge of printing Pennsylvania's colonial currency. If this was the sum of Franklin's achievements, he would be no more known today than any other publisher in colonial America. However, Franklin lived at a very dynamic time in world history, and no other American represents these changes the way he does. Inspired by scientists such as Isaac Newton and Galileo Galilei, many Americans, including Franklin, began searching for the laws that regulated the natural world. He conducted experiments, such as his famous kite experiment, in order to figure out the laws of electricity. In 1748, he sold his printing business so he would have time to work on his inventions, and over the next 3 decades, he used his understanding of science to design the lightning rod, bifocal eyeglasses, and an efficient stove for heating. Each of these inventions resulted from Franklin's discovery of some of nature's laws. For Franklin and others who subscribed to this new type of Enlightenment thinking, human freedom was also one of nature's laws. This meant that people should be allowed to make choices in how they lived, but it also meant that citizens had responsibilities to their neighbors. As a citizen of Pennsylvania, Franklin served in the Colonial Assembly. In Philadelphia, he started a hospital, organized a fire department, created America's first lending library, served as a deputy postmaster general, and established a university. His belief in community organization also extended to the 13 colonies as a whole. In 1754, when the colonies were threatened by France in the French and Indian War, Franklin proposed his Albany Plan of Union, hoping the colonies would work together for a common defense. The Albany Plan was never implemented. However, when tension between the British government and the colonies erupted in violence in 1775, Franklin again fought for a colonial union and his natural rights. Franklin's Albany Plan showed his capabilities as a politician, and he played this role again in 1776 when he became a member of the Second Continental Congress. There, he helped Thomas Jefferson draft the Declaration of Independence. In that same year, Franklin traveled to France seeking and winning that country's support in the fight for independence. After the American Revolution, he helped draft the U.S. Constitution while serving in the Constitutional Convention, and later, he headed an abolition society fighting to end slavery. Ben Franklin passed away in 1790, the most famous man in the Atlantic world at that time.